Hello and welcome to another of Turtleton's tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at Minecraft pistons and their use in making a moving billboard. Now, our first concept in using this is basically a clock generator. Here we have a switch which will power this trail of redstone dust, which propagates through this yellow wall block, which is picked up by this redstone repeater, which in turn passes it back through to this piston, which will extend this yellow block out one level and basically cut the circuit, which will retract the piston block, and basically the whole thing will fire off again and again. You can see here this is moving quite quickly, and we can change the speed of the clock pulse by changing the delay on the redstone repeater. Now if we just turn this off for a minute. Here we have the basis design for our billboard, and it's quite compact, but essentially we have one set of pistons here which will feed around this way. This piston will push the wall in this direction, and this piston will push it over to this other set here. And this is mirrored effectively and rotated round to this side here. Nothing entirely complex. You'll note that the pistons firing along the long axis have a full delay, whereas the pistons doing the short feeding job have a very short delay, or no delay. And this is all connected up by this long stretch of redstone dust here, of which there is a redstone repeater which is going to serve two purposes for us. One is to allow the signal to propagate from one end to the other, and the other is to give a delay so that the pistons aren't firing all at the same time. Now, if we connect these together, you'll see the whole system in motion. And as you can see, the wall is going round and around in a big circuit. And this can be stacked to multiple levels and given an actual design, and it will make yourself a nice billboard. If I stand here, you'll be able to see the timings of the system much more thoroughly than I can actually try and describe it. The short pistons fire just before the long pistons, or I should say, the pistons which have a short journey fire before the pistons with a long journey. And opposite sides, given that delay on the redstone repeater on the left, are also slightly out of sync, meaning that it doesn't get clogged or jammed. Also, you'll need to get the wall laid out pretty much the same way as I've done here. Okay, so if I just turn this off for a moment, you'll see that in this design, all the way over here, we have our switch placed in front of our sign. We have our piston clock, which has now been given an extra set of delays. So this is just going to make it slower and just give the delay more time to be seen. And here we have the same design as before, but now we have an extra piston placed on top. There you go, once again, the long row of feeding pistons is given a full delay, and the short burst is given a short delay. Once again, this set of redstone repeaters here is propagating the power along, and it's given a delay for timing. And one thing I've found in this is that if you're using two redstone repeaters in your clock, it's best to use two redstone repeaters in your propagational circuit. It just helps with the timings and makes the whole thing cleaner. So, hitting the switch starts off the clock generator, and as you'll see, the pistons will fire around, and you can effectively create a message or an image or whatever you really fancy on this billboard. If I just have another quick look up top, you'll be able to get a brief idea of what's going on here. There you go. Right, turning this off. Now, here's our practical design. As you'll note, the redstone wiring is concealed, or at least is for the most part. And we have a rather poorly illustrated diamond. You'll note that we have 8 rows of our basic sticky piston design in total. And thanks to some graphical glitching, you might be able to see what's coming. So right, it's a very simple design, very easy to implement. And of course, if you move far enough away, you won't even hear the pistons. As an additional, pistons can only push 12 blocks at a time. So that's the maximum length to any row that you can have on your billboard. You can, however, make the billboard much deeper than I have done here. So you can actually have another 12 blocks of depth, giving you effectively 4 sides to the whole design and twice as many blocks to play with. And obviously you're not limited just to using wool. So there we have it. Basic design for a billboard in Minecraft. Hope you've enjoyed watching. This has been Turtleton's Tutorials, and I hope to see you again next time.